afternoon, folks. So, I am Abraham Maslow, an American psychologist who was born on 1st April 1908. You have heard about me a lot about my self actualization theory, but let me explain it to you very clearly through one of my profound examples. I've made a poem for all of you for the same. Let me give you an example of a mountain climber. For I am a mountain climber, set on a specific timer. Eating and safety is my priority, but I am scared from asperities. I am a calm being, all set to do snow skiing. Love and esteem help me rise up, and if I reach the top, I have achieved everything up to my potential. For I am a mountaineer who, despite of failures, still wishes to climb, and it makes me happy every time. In the end, I would say, what a man can be, must be. This need is called as the self-actualization. In human beings, we all generally see that all of us are generally stuck up at the basic needs, that is the physiological needs for our safety as well as food. We never basically accomplish the needs which are the higher level, and we never reach a level which has high self-esteem. In order to do that, my pyramid holds relevance in today's modern era as well.
Hello, my friends. I am Karen Horney. I was born on 16 September 1885 in Germany and died on 4 December 1952 in New York. I have a poem that will tell you about my life and my research. Once upon a time, I was Sigmund Freud's assistant. To women's good treatment, he was resistant. Each sex has attributes to be admired, I was convinced. To these views, Sigmund Freud was resistant. Away I walked from him. My theory said thus: women are affected more by social and cultural than by biological factors. Disturbed interpersonal relationship causes psychological disorders. Indifferent, discouraging, and erratic parents cause more harm than good. Basic anxiety in child develops. Resentment and hostility towards the parents appear thus. Too much or too less of anything is bad. The child ends up with isolation and helplessness. Unhealthy development occurs. Much before the feminists of today, I was a feminist. My optimism towards humans made me different. People will resist, but you must go on. The world requires equality of sexes, and that's what you must do. My theory will assist and...
Privet comrades, my name is Lev Vygotsky. I was born on 17 November 1896 and I supposedly died on 11 June 1934. But here I am, comrades, talking to you all. Don't tell anyone that I'm alive. I am a Russian psychologist who developed the theory of cognitive development. It was known as the socio-cultural theory of cognitive development, and I gave it in the early 20th century. I am 126 years old, just by the way. The main assertion of my theory is that the cognitive development of children is advanced through social interaction with other people, particularly those who are skilled. Excuse me, comrades, my English is a little weak. In other words, I believe that social learning comes before cognitive development and that children construct knowledge actively. I am most recognized for the concept of zone of proximal development, pertaining to the learning processes of children. According to my theory, children who are in the zone of proximal development for a particular task can almost perform a task independently, but they are not quite there yet. They need some help in order to perform the task successfully. For example, there is a 5-year-old child who knows how to ride a tricycle. However, she can't ride a bicycle without his grandfather holding on to the back of a bike. With his grandfather's help, this little girl learns to balance her bike. With some more practice, she can ride the bike on her own. In this scenario, we can say that the child is in the zone of proximal development for riding a bike. The concept of zone of proximal development underscores my conviction that social influences, particularly getting instruction from someone, are of immense importance on the cognitive development of children. As children are given instructions or shown how to perform certain tasks, They organize the new information received in their existing mental schemas. They use this information as guides on how to perform these tasks and eventually learn to perform them independently. According to my theory of cognitive development, children learn through social interaction that includes collaborative and cooperative dialogue with someone who is more skilled in tasks they are trying to learn. I call these people with higher skill level the more knowledgeable others, or the MKOs. They could be teachers, parents, tutors, and even peers. Peers, that means comrades, your dear comrades.
I am the father of modern psychology. I don't need a poem to express the theories that or the contribution that I have made. My theories are a little tough to understand, but I hope you can understand it easily. The more or less, what I feel is that it's the thing if we actually understand a particular concept when we go into its details. Now, I was a particularly an influential person in my whole life. I have also been dominated or been a part of the Western culture. That's why I'm wearing a Western bow tie. This Western bow tie is really hard to tie, and that is something that I learned today. The core aspects of personality are established early. Now, what I believe is that they remain stable throughout the life and can be changed only with great difficulty. What I proposed was a 5-stage theory of personality. It's called psychosexual development. There are 5 stages which are seriously really easy to understand. The first stage is an oral stage, when the instincts are focused on the mouth. That's the only pleasure-seeking center. The infant activities are oral gratification through feeding, thumb-sucking, biting, and babbling. The next is anal stage. The principal demand made by parents is that the child learns to control the bodily functions of urination and defecation. This is a stage when the anal area of the body becomes the focus of certain pleasurable feelings. This stage establishes the basis for conflict between the id and the ego and between the desire for babyish pleasure. The next stage, if you move on to, is phallic stage. It focuses on the genitals. At around ages 4 or 5, children begin to realize that they are different. They are males and females. In this particular scenario, the male child experiences a phenomenon known as the Oedipus complex, which involves love for the mother, hostility towards the father, and the consequent fear of punishment or castration by the father. A major developmental achievement of this stage is the resolution of the Oedipus complex. And it does not work like that it's not happens in the case of girls. It happens for girls as well. But there's a different scenario altogether in the case of girls. They attach their love to their father and they try to symbolically marry him and raise a family. When she realizes that it's unlikely, she begins to identify with her mother and copy her behavior. In other words, boys give up sexual feelings for their mothers and begin to see their fathers as role models rather than rivals, and girls give up their sexual desires for their fathers and identify with their mother. Now, after this comes the latency stage. This stage lasts for around 7 years until puberty. During this period, the child continues to grow physically, but the sexual urges are relatively inactive. Much of the child's energy is channeled into social achievement-related activities. That's why we see the kids being extra motivated, extra inspired to do co-curricular activities at this particular stage. The last stage is genital stage. Now, during this stage, the person attains maturity in psychosexual development. The sexuality fears and repressed feelings of earlier stages are once again exhibited. This is the time when the child is actually aware of his or her past, his or her future, and his or her present as well. Now, the journey towards this stage is marked by the excessive stress or overindulgence, which in some cases may cause fixation for an earlier stage of development. We all need to realize this fact, and as I have proposed it in my theory, as children proceed from one stage to another stage of development, they seem to adjust their view of the world. Failure of a child to pass successfully through a stage leads to a fixation of the stage. In this situation, the child's development gets arrested at an earlier stage. Now, I do know that a lot of other theories have been made by taking my theory as a basis, because I did not consider all the parts of the society on a whole. But that's not true according to me. I do believe, and I will always believe with the fact that I was going in the right direction. I was the one which provided the base for these further theories to develop. That's why I am the father of modern psychology and not anyone else of you. Thank you.